picture in his mind a man that is admired, fun, compassionate, understanding, and very sarcastic. But hey, that's who he is. The advice can either be good or misunderstood, but he does speak from experience. So sit back, listen up, volume up, and let's talk about it. He is the icon.
Well, how we doing out there, y'all? Oh, we doing all right? Y'all like that new intro? Just something I'm working on. I like it. I thought it was pretty cool. Let me know what y'all think about that. I thought it was okay, just trying a little bit of things different. Still getting back in the swing of things. Want to welcome y'all to the show. Let's talk about it. I am the icon, and I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Everybody had a fantastic week, and that everything is going the way you hope it would go. Believe it or not, I had some technical difficulties. I'm a little bit late on this podcast. I know I said that they would be getting out every Wednesday, but some technical difficulties with my system that I hope is corrected by now. But in any event, here we are. And here we go. Oh, it's all good. So, I got a letter from a listener. I was going to do another show before this one, but I felt that this young lady really wanted my opinion. This letter came to me was it Monday of this week. Of course, I usually don't get to things like this until Saturday. Well, I do. This is just a hobby for me. But in any event, I hope I can give this young lady some clarity. I did read the letter. We're going to go through the letter. Hopefully get the answers that she wants or advice that she needs. This is not a letter that I personally take pride in because you guys know my stance on politics. I just don't really like discussing politics. It's just not me who I am. I feel that neither side is happy. Sometimes they aren't. But as we see in the current administration, there's a lot of angry voter remorse and regret going around. So, without further ado, we're going to get right into it, and we're going to see if we can give this young lady some advice. Honestly, I was going to go live with this one, but I didn't know, so I'm still thinking about that. But this is like a politic thing, and I didn't want, to go through, all the, not really the craziness, but people have a lot to say when it comes to this new administration. I didn't want that to drag on and take away from what I was trying to help this young lady to either achieve or accomplish or just basically give her advice. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so this letter is entitled, this letter is entitled, I've Had Enough. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong episode, but I have it now, so bear with me. I was about to read the one that I was supposed to do, but now we're going to do this one. So, this letter is entitled, I've Had Enough. Hey, Icon, I really could use your help, opinion, or advice, and I know this is not a topic that you don't like, but can you please indulge me because I feel ousted by my family, friends, and even some co-workers, and it feels like the walls are literally closing in on me. I first like to say I have no issues with black people, and I have black friends. Oh boy, here we go. With that being said, I used to think I was being true to myself and doing what is right in the interest of my family and my community. Please don't disregard my letter, as I have had enough of social media, family, and friends because I feel like a target has been placed on my back. I can't even look at some of the people I know in the eye anymore because they feel I was wrong to do what I did. And from the start, I try to justify everything, but only to be told that I'm still not right in my decision that I made, and I admit I wish I could change it. So, I voted for Trump. And I did only so because one, my loyalty to my husband, which is a diehard supporter of him. And two, I thought it would be different this time around, and honestly love the fact of a woman president, but my husband didn't see it that way. Okay. I'm going to try to get to this letter, and then we'll try to go through the remarks here. I love my husband, but he feels a man should always be in control and a woman should always honor her husband. We are very different people. I honestly don't know what changed him because we have been married for 5 years with 2 beautiful daughters and another one on the way. We argued during the whole Trump run for office the second time around. I didn't vote for him the first time, and I was very happy and excited when JB beat him. My husband was mad and angry and didn't believe that JB won. But when January 6th happened, he would often say things I don't care to repeat out of fear of retaliation or worse, humiliation. I feel our marriage has taken a hefty toll. I feel that we have drifted apart because of this rift that's caused us to stray away from each other. When my family found out the way I voted, they asked why. And I simply said to shut my husband up. They said, well, you could have just lied to him. And me thinking that after hearing that probably sounds like a logical idea. I mean, we tried every single thing to put our marriage back on track. And since this dumbass idiot in the White House, my husband only hears him instead of me. And that's very concerning to me. The kids have been neglected by him, as well as me trying to connect on his level and try to talk to him, but it's like he's an empty shell. But when he hears Trump talk or speak, or is about him, he's like a dog with a tail wagging. What the hell is happening? Excuse me. What the hell is happening? How can one man have so much control over my husband? We tried counseling, but that didn't work. He thought it was emasculating him as a man. So we tried it at our church, and it turns out that didn't help neither. He often goes to a social club, or his friend's house that I call it. They're all supporters of Trump. And he stays there for very long periods of time to a point where I thought he was cheating. But as it turns out, one of his friends' wife sent me the video, and all they do is talk about this guy like he's a god that can do anything. I also have to share something else with you that I'm ashamed of, but at this point I feel like I've lost him, so I found companionship with another man. And it happened to be, and it happened, and it felt so good when I see him or with him. It happened on accident when I was feeling down and depressed about voting for Trump. That was just the end of the road. So I went on walks, unplugged from social media, started a different routine in terms of my life and how I want to live. So I met this man on my daily run and walk. I was in the park crying on a bench because I felt I was lost, and that nothing I did mattered. So we chatted about life and the decisions that I made. He was very understanding, very compassionate, to a tune that I have felt the weight of being lifted off of me. But sure, this is someone I wanted to pursue because I miss what I once had with my husband. I don't blame anyone but myself for not trying hard enough to save my marriage. But what would you do? What would you seriously do? As I said before, I'm pregnant, but this baby is not of my husband. It is a man that I've been seeing. No, I have not told him yet, but I need to because there's another issue that I haven't told you. You know, the hits just keep on coming with this letter. Like, real talk. Now y'all see why I did this one. Though the man I'm seeing is currently involved, though the man that I'm seeing or currently involved with is not married, nor does he have children. He is a black man that works for a finance company. Because the crazy thing is, he made me feel like I was the only thing that mattered to him. He seems so genuine, so honest about life and what he wants. I didn't tell him I was married until the third time of intercourse. Jesus, Lord have mercy. Boy. All right, y'all, we're going to get through it. He was not happy because he doesn't believe in breaking up marriages as well as family. I shared with him that I was sorry for not being honest, but he forgave me and asked me what I wanted to do. Of course, I said I'm ready to move on from my husband, and I wanted him to feel, and I wanted to be with him. I feel like there was either a wake-up call or a sign, so I will take it as that. I also wanted to share one last thing. You know, I'm trying to get through this, but damn it, they just keep coming. I have since talked to my family about this, my mom, my dad, and the weird thing is they are more happy than I thought. And they're more excited about this guy I'm seeing, which again is black. I'm not sure why you feel to keep mentioning that he's black. I don't get that, but whatever. And yes, they know I'm expecting a baby with him, so I want your honest opinion of what you think. What you think of. Signed, unsure, but sure, Jamie. Okay, give me just a second here. Okay, so a lot to unpack here. When I first read this letter, I didn't know what to think, what to say. I was like, what the hell? Holy crap. My first initial thought was that a supporter, this is the first supporter that's ever written to my show and expressed remorse of what they are going through with their vote. So a lot to unpack here. I first want to say that clearly, Jamie, clearly you're white, because the thing that I don't understand about white people, I don't care what race you are. I don't understand why there's an issue when it comes to Trump. We have to feel justified in saying that I have black friends. There are black people that voted for Trump. Okay, who you vote or what you do or what you become is your business. Now, I'm going to try to give you the best advice that I can give you, and I hope that this appeases you. So, as you see, I did move your letter to the front of the stack here because I felt that you really needed this, and I felt that you really wanted to hear from me. I would have preferred we do a social call, but I understand. I understand the fear and retaliation, and you don't want people to know. But upon me reading this, like I said, when I first got this letter, I did email Jamie back. And we're going to go through the questions that I asked her probably a little bit later on in the show. But for right now, there's clearly a lot to unpack here. It really is. You voted for a guy out of fear of your husband. Here's the crazy thing. When you vote, you are in a booth by yourself. You're not with anybody. That is considered illegal. Nobody can sit there and watch you and tell you who you can vote for. You are your own person. So I'm with your family on this one. I would have just told them I voted for Trump and then probably voted for somebody else. Now, I don't endorse either candidate, but I think it's pretty much clear and evident to say that the world is pissed off at the direction we are headed in right now with the current administration. Now, given that being said, I would have probably preferred any other Republican but this guy named Trump. I really would have. I think he's taken down America. I think America is clearly spiraling out of control because of one man who a lot of people seem to think that he is God. Let me reiterate, he is not God. I am not the first to say this, and I damn sure won't be the last. I have watched social media, TikTok in particularly, that there's a lot of people that clearly think this guy is doing the right thing. And it's sad and abhorrent that as Americans, we don't do our due diligence and do our homework. You know, I can remember a time back in the day that we didn't have social media. We were forced to read. We were forced to do our homework on a candidate. And those were the days that we could honestly sit here and say, this is a guy who I want to vote for. Because we not only did our due diligence by reading, but we would also listen to respectable media outlets and sources that would tell us about the candidate. And that would be 100% true. The crazy thing is, this guy did everything he said he was going to do, but people still voted with this guy. Any and everything that he said has not been 100% completely true. I don't even know if his real name is Donald Trump. How do we know he ain't lying about that? But you you're having remorse. I don't get it. I don't understand it, because if you knew in your heart deep down you felt a certain way about another candidate, I would have went the other way and probably would have just saved face and told him and lied to his face that I voted for Trump. That's what I would have told him. And I know a lot of my listeners are going to be like, well, that's not right. It's not fair. You know, marriage is supposed to be about honor. Okay, true. But it's not like she was cheating. Oh, shoot, I can't say that because technically she was. Okay, let's do one thing at a time. For now, it's not like she was literally cheating on him with another candidate. Okay? We are people. We are human. He does not own you. He did not give life to you. He didn't create you. You chose to take vow. You chose to honor your husband. There are a million ways you can honor your husband. At the end of the day, you are still your own person, and you are a person of who you want to be and who you should be. Now, I don't understand this one thing, you're honoring your husband by voting for Trump. No, that's just giving him what he wants. And if you guys argue through the whole damn campaign about Trump, clearly, that should have been not really a red flag, but that should have been an issue. And the first time around, you didn't vote for Trump, but you guys still stayed together. So clearly, I don't think there's another place where he's going, or if he was going anywhere, because you told him you voted for JB, aka Joe Biden. So clearly your marriage has been sustained enough that you got through the first term, but the second term turned out to be a little bit worse and a little bit bad. So in my opinion, I would have just done things a little bit differently. So I know it's sad. I know we as husband and wife, we want to honor each other, but we can do that. I mean, we are not back in the 1950s or 60s where women were only supposed to do one thing, or you know what I'm trying to say, one thing, and that's maintain the household while the husband goes out and provides. Those days are long over. Women are independent. Women are strong. Women are charismatic. Women can do just about anything a man do, if not better. And I think the idea that a lot of the people out here who voted for him, it scared them that a woman was going to be placed in office. Let me remind you, my listeners, and to people that will probably disagree with me, where in the hell do you think you come from? You weren't spawned out of a petri dish. A woman gave birth to you. A woman has just about as much right as a man do. A woman can do any and everything a man do, sometimes even better than a man. It does not scare me that a woman could run this country. It does not, because as we've seen, there are women presidents in other countries. Is anybody perfect? No. Hell no. Nobody's perfect. But I think I would have been taking the alternative rather than to go down the rabbit hole with this guy. You know, everybody's talking about he's done this. Nobody can give me, or that I've seen, can give me a clear-cut, precise policy that he has done or that he continues to do. Why are we afraid of immigrants? They don't do anything. They're people. You know, if the shoe was on the other foot and white people were the immigrants, I guarantee you it'd be a lot more different. Again, this country, immigrants are already here. So it's like we are trespassing and we're visiting on their land. They took from them what they sometimes can or can't get back. And that's sad. It's sad. So I know there's some people that's going to agree with me and there's going to be some people that's going to disagree with me. And that's fine. That's completely fine. I welcome all that. I do. So you have started making some changes in your life that I can agree with. Yeah, I can agree with. I can. Because you feel that since this guy's in office and your husband is tuned in to this guy and this guy only and nothing else matters, well, that's sad. How can one man try to tell you what to do or occupy your home? How? You're neglecting your children. So, as we know and as we've seen, this man has been convicted of pretty much any and everything under the sun. And I'm pretty sure there's more to come. My thing is, you have daughters. I have daughters. Why? I would be thinking about them rather than thinking about myself. Do I want a better world for them? Because as you clearly can see, you're damn sure not going to get a better world with him. But I know everybody's saying, oh, well, it's done. He's president. Yada, 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 whoopty whoop. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. No big deal. I'm just saying this is my opinion. Hold on. I got to get something to drink up in here. I'll get dry. Oh, phone's ringing. Hold that thought. All these distractions in the background. Got a guy mowing the lawn. Hopefully y'all can't hear that, but if it is, we'll try to do something about it. In any event, we have seen that this guy has no respect for women, none whatsoever. So your husband has tuned out from you and his children. You decided to go for a run. It just so happens that you had a breakdown, not really a meltdown, but you broke down because you thought that everything was coming against you and the weight of the world was on you. But somebody came along, a knight in shining armor, a black stallion of a man. Woo! No, I'm just joking. It just so happened to be a black man. So I don't know your dating preference. I don't know any of that, but clearly this guy said something to you that put your mind at ease and and probably for the most part took your pain away. And that's good, because love doesn't have a color. I mean, it does, but it doesn't see race. And people often misunderstand that, a lot of people would say back in the day, well, there shouldn't be race mixing. And there's some people who still believe that today. But until that the one that they tell that to, whether it be their son or daughter, find somebody of the opposite race. Now, I don't care that he's black. I don't. Only thing I care about is your happiness. And if you're happy in doing so, then by all means, do what makes you happy. Because clearly, you asked me, what would I do? If this was me and I was in your shoes, I'm sorry, I'd probably do the same thing you do. I would. Because it seems like your husband disconnected from the world. It seems like he was just not there for you. And I don't even know how long this has been going on. But you probably, since Trump's been in office, he's probably been just tuning into that. You didn't say about the job. I'm assuming he has a job. You guys are taking care of your family and your kids. And you have another baby on the way. But clearly it is not the baby of your current husband, but it is of your, the guy that you're seeing, which I got to give kudos to this guy. He was kind of upset when you told him that you were married, because there's a lot of people with values that say, well, I don't want to break up a happy family, because they don't want that to come back to them. And I hope this is not a guy that when you guys first met in the park, that this is a rebound guy. Like, you couldn't get the affection from your husband, so you ran to the arms of another man. I hope that this is not that. But we're going to pause that for right minute, because I asked Miss Jamie some questions about before I did the show. I asked her, have you filed for divorce? Her response was yes, he will be served soon. I said, how did he respond? Her response says, he was mad. We argued day and night to the point where he just gave up. I really would love to be the fly on that wall. I asked her this out of safety of her and her daughters. Have you moved away to someplace away from him? And her response is, I left him the time I emailed you this letter, and I moved in with my sister short term. Damn, if that ain't cold. Jesus. I'm trying to figure out what happens if I didn't get to the letter, but whatever. I also asked this question out of fear and concern for her and her daughters. Does he know that you're pregnant? If he does he know it's not his? Her response said he knows I had an affair, but not with who. Yeah, probably the best thing not to say anything right now, but whatever. Then I asked, how far did your sister live away from your husband? Her response is, next state over. That is probably a good thing. I also asked, how have your parents and family been since you changed for yourself? Her response was, we're closer than before. And they said, family is more important than any election. No politics have been discussed since only when the news comes on. But they don't really talk about it much. And the last one I asked about the mystery man in her life. Have your parents met the new man in your life? Her response is yes. My parents act like they've known him for years. My dad loves him, that he's a very respectable man who treats me well. And that's good. Those were the questions that I asked, because that's good. I have no doubt that I think you are happy. I have no doubt that you're doing things for you and that you want to go in a different direction. It's sad to say that your husband at some point will come back full circle and he's going to probably not take it well, because though you told him and he was angry and he was furious, I don't think it's quite set in yet. And that's okay. That's okay. But the good thing is you moved away from him and you said your sister's in the next state over, which I'm assuming is good, because as we see that with people, Trump, again, he's not a man with power. He is just a man. He puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like me. So I think when the dust settles, he's going to want to circle back to this. And I think by then, I don't know which way he's going to go. And I hope it would be the respectful way, because I don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't condone any violence. But I think that with Trump in office, it feels like it gives some people the entitlement to either crash out or rage on or to do bodily harm or to say and do whatever the hell they want to do. And that's sad. Clearly sad. But I think that I was really just kind of, when I read this, I was trying to think, well, what do they do? I mean, what does he do? Or, whatever, because clearly I don't have that much time during the day where I want to sit and talk about a guy who has no interest of me whatsoever. Ooh, Lord, I know I got to hit this vape. But so the first part I'm kind of over. The other part is that, in my opinion, I hope that this works out for you. I really do. Though he is a black man, as time and time I tell people or show people, all black people are not the same. We are all human. We all bleed the same and we all do things differently. Ultimately, our lives are not the same, but you found this guy, or this guy found you, or whatever, you found him. And I see that your parents are really open to the idea of this relationship. And I see that your parents obviously have your back 100%. And that's a good thing, because we've seen time again since the first and the second coming of Donald Trump that families have been broken apart. Families have been just ripped away, not literally speaking, because we know that's happening now, but we have seen families been torn apart by just one man. I am fortunate enough to have a family that is caring either way. But the crazy thing is, we as parents teach our kids to do the right thing, but as parents, we can't do the right thing when it comes to somebody that we should not even be considered in the office. If we know this guy has all these convictions, we know this guy has no respect for women. He talked about it on video. And it's shocking that some parents will put that ideology on their kids, but their kids kind of, throw it back at them. Well, this is not what I want. Especially if you have daughters. Why would you vote for a man like this? That's just saying you're voting for nothing. No. You're basically voting for, he's a criminal. You're basically voting for a guy who's done everything from sexual assault to, I don't want to say racketeering, but you know what I'm trying to get at, who's blatantly broken the law, has no respect for the law, who does not care about right or wrong, fact or fiction. He only cares about him and lining his pockets. The way this man talked about his daughter would have been a red flag for me. It is a red flag for me. I would have never voted like that. I would not talk about my daughters the way he talked about his one daughter, his favorite. I have daughters. I give my daughters praise. I tell them how beautiful they are. They're beautiful princesses that one day eventually and are becoming a queen of who they are. I've never heard a man talk like that unless you had some kind of pedophilia ideas in your mind. I mean, knowing what this man did and where he would take his daughter is just ridiculous. It is. It's ridiculous. But I can honestly say that it's sad. And we have a lot of people that's regretting what they did. And a lot of people coming out and saying that if I can go back and change it, I would. Well, it's a little bit too late for that. The crazy thing is, we all had the information. We all had everybody telling us. But we still didn't like what we were hearing, so we had to navigate because he fear-mongered everybody and to bullying them to voting for him. He was never going to do the right thing. Hell, he's still not doing the right thing. I pray every day that this world gets better. I do. I don't live in fear. I don't live in regret because I pray. There's only one man who I consider to be the Alpha and Omega, and that is the good God Almighty. Now, I'm not going to get religious on you guys, but that's who I am as a person. I want my daughters to grow up in a world that they can be safe. I want my daughters to have 100% control of their bodies. No man should ever tell a woman what she can and can't do with her own body. Why? Because we never been through what they've been through. Has a man given labor? Does a man have to go through all these changes in life about their bodies? No. We have one thing on our body that changes, and that's the thing between our legs. And that's because sometimes that thing, you know what else? I forgot. Might be kids listening, so y'all know what I'm trying to say. But women do more than men. Women carry a lot of more weight than men do. And I know some of us will, I take care of my family. That's good. That's good. That's what you're supposed to do. But at the same time, in my opinion, if you're with someone, that operates as a 50-50 partnership. Now, some people can choose to live the way they want to live their life. It's completely fine. There's no right or no wrong way. The only wrong way I would be was that if you try to have total control and she's barking like a dog or she's running like your maid or slave. Now, I know in some cultures that's honored that way because that's their culture. But here in America, women have rights. Women can do more. Women have done more. Women have carried much more weight on their shoulders than men. Men, we can't even fathom how they do it. As I said, I am a single father. You know, I have a friend that I know I say I don't have friends, but he's an online friend, but I do consider him my friend. He told me he voted for Trump. Just because you voted for Trump doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily, ban you or disown you or befriend you. I don't care. If you voted for him, that's fine. And he's also saying, well, if I'd have known what I known then, I would never vote for him. But we all knew. You can't use that same excuse saying we didn't know. We did know. That's like the devil himself coming up here and saying, I'm going to destroy the world. Either you're with me or you're against me. Or you're going to bow down to me. And I think I'd probably be against him. Not probably, I would. So the evidence was clearly, and it was clearly there. And I have people that I work with that voted for him. I don't hold you to the standard of saying that what you did was wrong. Because some people are already regretting it. Some people are saying, well, we probably should have went the other way on this. Well, and you have some people who are die-hard Republicans. I think there's an exception. You're not born a Republican. It's a decision that you choose to make in your life if you decide to follow politics, which is what I don't do. But when people tell me that, I don't get angry. I don't ask them why they voted the way they did. I just say, hey, well, listen, that's who you voted for. He's like, yeah, but I don't want you mad at you for what? We're not in a relationship. I work with you. I still think you're a good person. If you voted for him, then that's who you voted for. Unless you show me a different side of you, then we have an issue. But for the most part, my one friend that told me, he was kind of embarrassed. I said, well, what are you embarrassed about? He said, well, because you're my friend and I know that you don't like him. It's not the fact that I don't like him. I dislike his methods and his ways. Hate is not in my heart. It's not. I can respect you. I can talk to you, but I don't hate anybody. Hate is such a strong word. I'll give anybody the benefit of the doubt. I'll give anybody the chance to be who you are. But if you show me a different side of you, then that's a problem. I trust everybody. It's just the devil inside them that I don't trust. And when that comes out, then there's an issue. So, no matter what your choice is, you have the right to vote for someone. Someone else is still here fighting for it. These are human beings. We make mistakes. So, Jamie, I guess what I'm saying is that you have people you can't look in the eye, right? I don't know how good of these friends that these are people of yours, but you have the choice to say, I don't know if you want to apologize to make amends. I don't know. That's not the answer I have for you. It isn't. You know, because at the end of the day, some people can get over it and some people are still going to hold it against you or hold it over your head. So, in my opinion, always stand up for what is right, regardless of who's committing the wrong. Always. So, the world has chosen evil instead of a good person who clearly, why would have thought a woman would have done a good job? I would have. And I still believe that. And I still believe that one day this world's going to have a woman president and she's going to be phenomenal. I have nothing but the highest praise and the highest respect of women. I come from a family of women. Now, I didn't really know too much about my dad, except that I had his name, but I was raised predominantly with women. A mom who raised me the best way she could, who ruled with an iron fist, who didn't take shit off of none of her kids, made me the man I am today. And I thank my mom for that. I do. Because her job wasn't easy. It was hard. So, in my opinion, what you should continue to do is continue progressing forward. Don't look back. If you have those friends that won't speak to you, that's fine. You got to move on. You got to move on. The only thing, in my opinion, that matters and that should matter is your family. And if your family has given you the okay, or they have green lighted you to be okay, then be okay. Friends come and go. Family is forever. So don't go back and don't try to revisit this or hash this out. And if you have friends that want to maybe, I don't know, kind of talk to you and say, well, listen, you're my friend. Let's not let this come between us. Can we move forward? Do that. Move forward. Don't don't rehash don't open old wounds. Just keep moving forward. So I can honestly say that I enjoyed this letter. I like this letter. That being said, I know you guys are probably going to chime in and start writing more, but hopefully, hopefully not too much. But hey, it's what it is. I got to be honest with you. I didn't want to do the letter. I didn't. But as I read it and I said, well, as I said in previous shows, that you can email me and write about anything. I may not like it, but as a person, if you want my opinion, I appreciate you wanting my opinion. I even appreciate you guys listening to the show. Because I know in this world, there's like a million other people that are trying to, say this and say that. And sometimes these people are mostly celebrities and we don't really have the person that is kind of like down to earth, but an average person like you or me to say this. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need that opinion of those of a stranger, especially if they're given the right opinion. And like I said, I do this because I feel that what you did, in my opinion, I felt that it was the right way. I mean, it could have gone a different way. We could have been talking about something totally different. But I think what you're doing, Miss Jamie, I think it's good. I think that you said you serving divorce papers. I hope he signs them. I mean, clearly the fight is gone in him. So why fight it now? You're about to have another child. Congratulations. Your parents are ecstatic about this guy. That's amazing. It really is. Because that just shows the kind of parents that you have, which are good parents. And though they may not have been happy with the decision of you voting for this guy, but that's okay. That's fine. People have to understand, when we grow up and our parents teach us the right way to do or to make our own decisions, yeah, they may be mad with you or upset, but it sounds like they didn't hold on to it for long. Like some families who just don't blatantly talk to their family members at all. Like they have just completely ousted them. And I have a feeling they ousted them because they keep hearing from their family members the person that they voted for is the right person. Listen, I think you guys did good when you say you guys don't talk about politics until the news, or unless the news comes on. And I got a feeling that when you guys talk about it, it's not a very long conversation. It's probably like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. When is this nightmare going to end? This guy needs to be impeached, whatever. That's what I can imagine what the conversation is, because I don't think that this family talks about it that much because of the dynamics and the aspects of what's happening in the world. I think you guys are keeping family close and you're doing the right way and you're doing the right thing. And this man that you have met and that you have brought into your life, in your kids' life, in your family's life, sounds like he's a good man. And it sounds like that it's going to work out. And I wish you nothing but the best for you and him. I do. You didn't say anything about his political affiliation. I'm assuming that you guys feel the same way. But sometimes when you have somebody that you connect with on that level, you kind of seize that moment. But I know that you guys are probably still in talks about your life and how you want to perceive and review your life. And that's good. Keep doing that. Keep doing it. Keep happy and keep on keeping on. So, as we get ready to close this show off, Jamie, listeners, it's okay to regret your decision. The sad thing is we're probably going to take a hit and trying to get things back on the right track, but it's okay. We're going to all go through this together. So it's easier to fool people than it is to conceive them. They've been fooled. So, as we get ready to close it out. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I was so in tune with this letter, I didn't mention who today's artist was on this podcast. So, the artist is Ryan James Carr. He is a drummist. The guy really loves drums. I believe you can listen to him anywhere on any platform, Spotify, Amazon. You can go to his YouTube channel. It's Ryan James Carr. The guy is good. I like him. So we continue to do this and to highlight an artist. Hopefully you guys would listen to his music. I love his music. It's great. He's definitely a good drummer. I like the way he plays his, I like his genre of music, because, there are some awesome drummers out there. Travis Barker, Sheila E. I forgot the guy with the Roots name. I forgot his name, but I love drums. But let's not take away from the letter, but that's who the artist is. All the tracks are from Ryan James Carr. As we get ready to close this out, I want to leave Miss Jamie with some positive quotes or motivations or whatever. Your feelings matter, even if no one understands them. The pain they gave you, you will circle back, but so will your kindness. Confidence isn't about being perfect, but it's about knowing you're worthy, even when you're still growing. And I believe that. So, Miss Jamie, I want you to be happy in your decision. This is just my advice, my opinion. I hope this finds you well. Feel free to follow up with me. I'm more ecstatic and more happy that you have removed yourself from what I can feel or consider a volatile situation. As I said, I hope that the worst is over for you, but I know you still have a long road ahead of you and you have a long ways to go. But it sounds like your support system is really good in where you need to be and where you want to go. So I think you're not doing this alone. I think you're doing this with the support of family. And if your friends come back around, that's a good thing. But most of all, you have family to help you and support you through any and everything that you're going through. So it doesn't sound like you're going to take on this alone. And then you have a guy who genuinely cares about you, that I'm assuming you guys fell in love at first sight. But continue to be happy. Don't look back on this. As we get ready to go, the next track, the last track of the show, is called Lonely Low. But as I said, you're okay. You will be fine. This track is going to take us out. I want you guys to sit back, relax, and chill and groove to the smooth sounds and the drums of Ryan James Carr. My friends, feel free to email me, d6empire357.com. I'm listed on TikTok, Instagram. Previous shows are also listed on YouTube. Current shows will be uploaded every Wednesday. So, my friends, Jamie, new friend of Jamie's family, kudos to you. Till next time, you guys take care of yourself and each other, and may God bless you on your journey. Until next time, I am Icon. You guys have a great day.